Australians depending on food banks to pay their mortgages. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, I'm Florian Heise and welcome to another episode of Heise Says. I have my stein of coffee here and I thought we would look at this article about banks referring people to food banks so they could pay their mortgages. Now, I've previously done a video called 5 Tips to Prepare for a Recession, and I'll link to that above. One of my tips was fasting, because that's fantastic health benefits, but it also lets you save money on food. And with the amount of people that are obese and overweight in Australia, that's not such a bad thing. Once again, don't take health advice from a talking head on YouTube. Do your own research and talk to your medical professionals, particularly if you're on medication. But, yeah, I can handle a week. No problem, done it twice this year. And it does save money, but it's annoying when the wife cooks really good food and you get hyper advanced smell, and I can smell it across the house. So, Foodbank South Australia has been approached by banks wanting to refer their clients to the charity in the hope it will prevent people from defaulting on mortgage payments. It comes as a new report has shown mental distress is increasing in older Australians, and I spoke about it yesterday, with nearly half of homeowners aged 55 to 64 still paying off a mortgage, up from just 14% 30 years ago. Foodbank South Australia is now working on a new agreement which would enable clients to access its food services directly with a voucher funded by the major bank. Well, that's actually a really good idea. That is a fantastic idea, that the bank is doing that. I'd rather the banks spend money on social outreach like this, helping people in dire straits, just to keep them going, guys, pay your mortgage, don't breach that contract, because the banks want to keep the people going, hopefully, and rather than all this other SJW garbage that they put out again and again. So yeah. However, Foodbank South Australia Chief Executive Greg Patterson told ABC Radio Adelaide it was still exploring how the program would work. We are being approached by banks to find a way of referring their clients to Foodbank to try to avoid any defaulting mortgage payments, he said. Wow. That's what we're exploring with some of the banks at the moment. It hasn't started yet because we're still working through the process. I remember when I was doing my first job at Woolworths down the Gold Coast, and you'd have people come through with it, and you'd have to make sure, like they'd have a St. Vinny's voucher, and check, and you'd have to make sure they couldn't buy cigarettes and smokes and stuff on it, because they tried. But that's a bit different to a food bank, hopefully. We've never been approached by financial institutions in the past, and banks, to their credit, are doing the right thing in trying to find a way of keeping people in their houses. Well, what does that tell you with the confidence in the market? Does it tell you that everything's okay? If financial institutions who have their entire business is about managing risk, they have to have a pulse on the economy, they have to plan ahead. Do you think the fact that they are approaching and reaching out to food banks is a sign that everything is going well? No, it's not to me. He said traditionally, Foodbank worked through charities and the welfare sector, but it had seen an increase in the number of people who required food assistance that are working. Increasingly, we're being approached now by organizations other than traditional charities. So schools, for example, where the schools have identified the children of parents who are doing it tough, he said. Yes, I've heard a lot of people talk about this, or teachers mention this, where the parents just can't, in trouble, so the kids are going to school hungry. And let's look at this picture here, what they're just showing the food here. All of this stuff here is all garbage. Every single bit here is garbage. All of even the Uncle Toby's, all of this stuff, it's all going to spike your insulin up and you'll be hungry in a couple of hours later. It's not designed, this food is not designed to satiate you efficiently. Whereas traditional food, like animal fats, will satiate you. And often if you go, and this is my bias and my personal experience, going to a high-fat animal diet, you'll forget that you need to eat. You'll maybe eat once a day very easily. And when you fast, then you don't. So that's the other problem here. It's just that our entire food industry is designed with this sugar-laden crap and high-carb stuff that is not going to satiate you, and you'll have to eat again and again and again. You'll get hungry. Cost of living is causing a shift. But hang on, each year we've seen an increase in South Australia of anywhere up to 20% in the number of people seeking food assistance. So 20% increase in people seeking food assistance. Cost of living is causing a shift. But apparently our cost of living hasn't gone up. That's what we're being told. Oh wait, yes, it was offset by those overseas holidays that have gone down. Or sorry, interstate holidays that have gone down. That's it. Yeah, of course. Mr. Patterson said the stereotype of a person or family that required food assistance was diminishing. He said many people must be suffering from mortgage stress because more of those needing help were from working families. I mean, there's no shame in needing to go to a food bank to get food for your family. None at all. You do what you need to do. You do what you need to do to keep them in the house. You do what you need to do to keep your kids fed. Respect you for that. But I'm more interested in this as a sign of where everything's going. So Foodbank SA received a significant amount of donated food, which is good. I mean, there you go. It's a whole lot of fruit. This will spike your insulin again. All of these vegetable oils. So yeah, I mean, food is a topical thing for me ever since we've gone on this diet. If you look at some of my earlier videos, you can see just how much weight I've lost. I think I'm down about 20 kilos. Rachel as well. My father-in-law doesn't need his insulin anymore because of his diet change. And if you're interested, look at low carb, high fat. It's a bunch of doctors and professionals, and their conferences they have. You can watch it all online, and it's essentially looking at continued professional development for the medical profession. And you'll be shocked at how little nutritional training your doctors actually have, and how much they're required to follow the dietary guidelines published by the government, which is just out of date. Because it's the government, guys. That's the sad thing, particularly when you go to hospital, and the stuff you get there is often not good for you. So we certainly do provide services to the unemployed and people who are homeless, he said. But we're seeing an increase in the number of working families and working Australians who are needing to seek food assistance because of cost of living increases. We see increase in demand, for example, every 3 months when people get their electricity bills. Bloody hell. So the electricity bills in South Australia are causing people to go to the food bank. Just think about that. Think about that, guys. The sustainable super straight of South Australia with blackouts, having to import power, needs people to go to the food bank when they get their power bills. Okay? Is that what Australia... Oh. Bloody hell. It's a case of those weeks where people are saying, we'll make sure the kids are fed, the roof is overhead, but mum and dad don't eat this week. Trying to help clients balance their budget. Mr. Patterson said the fact it had been approached by the banks has shown a significant shift, and Foodbank was working on a project to help support those in need. We're getting inquiries from schools, pastoral care workers, and principals at various schools around the state, he said. And increasingly, we are now seeing inquiries from banks and financial institutions who are looking to try and find a way to help their clients balance their budget. He said the program was still in early stages, but he hoped Foodbank would have a concrete program in place within the next 2 to 3 months. It may even be as simple as the bank referring their clients to the Foodbank food hubs, he said. But there would obviously be conditions to that which would have to be assessed by the bank to make sure those people are genuinely in need of those services. We don't want to shift the food away from people who are genuinely needing it. Well, this statement here is the one that's really thrown me, guys. We see increased demand, for example, every 3 months when people get their electricity bills. That's just gotten me angry. That's gotten me angry. We looked at the other day. I did a previous video where 1.2 million homes in Victoria are at risk of blackout over summer. And they've invested so much in sustainable energy. I mean, let's hang on. I'll bring up that website. Where have I got it here? Okay, so I found this website. We'll jump here. And you can see this is the, from the Australian energy market, current energy production. And I'll refresh it right now. So we'll see. Let's have a look at South Australia. Let's have a look at South Australia. Now, solar are the stars. They've got a solar plant there. Excess of wind. Wind. Okay, where's their fossil? Here. 1 plant. 2 plants. 3 plants. 1 that's out of commission. Another one that's not producing any power. Wind. Wind. Oh, look. Solar. And every 3 months, the people in this state need to go to the bloody food bank because they can't afford their power bills. This is your utopian bloody socialist green power. This is what it leads to. People not able to pay their bills. People losing their homes. The people in the city, the inner city, greenies, who will live in the soy latte sipping life. Oh, my power bill was a little bit more expensive. That doesn't matter. Just put it on daddy's credit card. This is the problem. Cost of living is going up everywhere, guys. This crap makes you feel good when you're voting. It is gonna cost people their homes. It means Australians have to do without food. It's just gotten me a rate. It really has. I'm sick of this shit. I'm sick of it. I mean, come on. We need to grow up. These stupid idiots that are voting for this garbage, funding this rubbish. We're a first world country. We're meant to be. Doesn't feel like it when people go without food to pay their power bills. It's just going to get worse. It's just going to get worse. We need to wake up. We need to wake up. And I've been asked to do a video on that plan today. I didn't even know what was happening there. We're getting dumber, apparently. Oh, and it must be the test's fault. So I'll look at that one later. Anyway, guys, sorry, I'm getting a bit angry, but I didn't expect that. This is the problem when I don't read these things before I go through them. To give you a more honest reaction, which can work well in some regards. Some people like me getting pissed off, but I mean, look, am I the only one that is angry at seeing this? We see an increase in demand, for example, every 3 months when people get their power bill in the state that is covered in bloody wind farms. I wonder why. I wonder why. Let's kind of put our thinking caps on. Bloody idiots. You're gonna... Yeah. I mean, whatever. Don't worry, we won't be emitting carbon when we're all not eating. That's fine. We need to get rid of these idiots. We really need to. We need to educate another generation so this garbage doesn't happen again. Because we'll just slide backwards more and more. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining me. Like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time.